In 1337, King Edward III of England claimed the French throne, igniting the Hundred Years' War. His mother, Isabella, was the daughter of France's King Philip IV, giving Edward a dynastic argument. However, French nobles rejected his claim, citing Salic law, which barred female succession. This legal dispute masked deeper tensions. English-held territories in France, like Aquitaine, made the English kings vassals to the French crown, a relationship both resented. The stage was set for a century of bloodshed. The Battle of Crécy in 1346 marked England's first major victory. King Edward III's army, though outnumbered, relied on disciplined longbowmen whose arrows pierced French knights' armor. The French, confident in their heavy cavalry, charged recklessly across muddy terrain and were decimated. This battle demonstrated the longbow's lethal efficiency and foreshadowed the decline of feudal chivalry. Over 1,500 French nobles died, while English losses were minimal, a humiliating blow to France's military pride. The Black Death struck Europe in 1348, killing millions and halting the war. Both England and France lost up to half their populations, crippling economies and armies. The plague's devastation shifted priorities. Survival eclipsed conquest. Siege engines rotted unused, and battlefields lay silent. Yet, the pause was temporary. When the plague receded, leaders like England's Black Prince and France's Charles V would renew hostilities. Their nations scarred but undeterred. The 1360 Treaty of Brétigny temporarily ended hostilities. France, reeling from defeats and plague, ceded vast territories, including Aquitaine, to England. King Joan II of France, captured at Poitiers, was ransomed for 3 million gold crowns. But the peace was fragile. The treaty's vague terms, particularly over feudal homage, sowed future conflict. France, under Charles V, would soon reclaim lost lands through guerrilla tactics, proving the war far from over. Charles V of France, nicknamed the Wise, reversed English gains through calculated strategy. Avoiding pitched battles, his forces harassed English holdings with hit-and-run raids. Bertrand du Guesclin, a brilliant tactician, reclaimed castles by starving out garrisons. By 1380, France had retaken most lost territories. Charles's success hinged on adaptability. Cannons debuted, foreshadowing gunpowder warfare, and national identity coalesced against the English invaders. France's momentum faltered under Charles VI, whose bouts of madness plunged the kingdom into civil war. The Burgundians and Armagnacs, rival factions, turned on each other, leaving France vulnerable. Across the Channel, England's Henry V saw opportunity. In 1415, he invaded, capitalizing on French disunity. The stage was set for Agincourt, where a weakened France would face England's revitalized army and a legendary defeat. On October 25, 1415, Henry V's exhausted English army faced a French force 3 times its size at Agincourt. Yet mud, terrain, and English longbows decided the day. French knights, bogged down, were slaughtered en masse. Over 6,000 French died, including much of their nobility. English losses numbered in the hundreds. Henry's victory cemented his legend and forced the Treaty of Troyes, 1420, naming him heir to France, though Joan of Arc would soon challenge this. In 1429, a teenage Joan of Arc arrived at Orleans, besieged by the English for months. Claiming divine guidance, she rallied French troops, leading assaults that broke the siege in just 9 days. Her presence electrified France, reversing English momentum. Though militarily modest, Orleans became a psychological turning point. Joan's faith and charisma embodied France's resurgent nationalism and sealed her martyrdom when the English later captured and burned her. Joan of Arc's victories culminated in Charles VII's coronation at Reims on July 17, 1429. This symbolic act legitimized his rule, undermining England's claim. The ceremony, traditionally held at Reims, affirmed divine favor, a stark contrast to Henry VI's disputed reign. Though Joan was absent, pursuing further campaigns, her legacy was clear. France now had a unified cause. Charles's coronation marked the beginning of the end for English ambitions. The war concluded in 1453 at Castillon, where French cannons obliterated the English army. This battle, the first decided by gunpowder, heralded a new era of warfare. England retained only Calais, while France emerged unified under a centralized monarchy. The conflict's legacy endured. Nationalism replaced feudalism, and professional armies supplanted knights. For both nations, the 100 Years' War was a crucible, forging identities that still resonate today.